This year, one of my resolutions, one of my main big weighty resolutions was to work on forgiving people in my past that have caused me a lot of hurt. And it's kind of a big deal for me because I've basically been fighting with anger and resentment like my entire life. When I was younger, I was just really, really angry. And then as I got older, I knew that I didn't want to be bitter anymore. And so what I thought could pass as forgiveness, like anytime I even thought about forgiving anybody, I would get really, really angry. And so I would try not to think about the things that hurt me or upset me, and I would just try to focus on like my goals, my future, things that I had right now that were good. And I think that's really a healthy coping mechanism. That's a good way to cope with things, but it's not exactly forgiveness, because anytime I would think about somebody I was upset with or somebody that hurt me or somebody that I loved, I would get really angry again. So the only way that I could really cope with things was by just not thinking about it, which isn't healthy. An article that I read recently explained it really well. They said that with negative emotions, you can basically put them in the context of a debt-to-debtor relationship. I think this is a really good way to explain it because it works with a variety of emotions. For instance, guilt says, I owe you because I hurt you. Greed says, I owe me. Whereas anger says, you owe me. There are a lot of examples of this. For instance, you owe me my childhood. You owe me all of the years I wasted in a relationship with you. You owe me the experience of raising children with you. So the basic gist is that when someone's hurt you, you feel like they've taken something from you. You feel like they've robbed you of something. But here's the deal. Anger is an open account. And that account can never be closed because someone has robbed you of something that they can never give back to you. That was really important, so I'm going to repeat it. Someone has robbed you of something that they can never give back to you. No matter what they do, they cannot give you back what they have taken. So this is where bitterness and resentment come into play. You end up carrying that open anger account with you for so long that you forget where it originated. You might even start to expect other people to pay you back for what happened to you years ago. For instance, if you didn't have a father in the picture, you might expect your spouse to fulfill that for you. If you just got out of a really bad relationship a few years ago, you might start projecting that onto somebody that you're now with. Basically, the new people in your life will never be able to satisfy that angry part of you. That anger account can't ever be closed by them because the account isn't with them. Likewise, if you're with somebody who has bitterness or resentment toward another person and they're sort of projecting that onto you, there's nothing that you'll ever be able to do to really please them because their account isn't with you. Well, additionally, let's say that somebody I had an issue with comes to me in the future and says, hey, I'm really sorry, let me make it right to you. Well, the truth is, you can't make it right. You can't give me my childhood back. You can't ever take away the things that I experienced my entire life, and I experienced a lot of horrible things. Well, additionally, that anger that you're carrying is going to keep you from experiencing the abundance that life has to offer. Alright, so let me ask you a question. Let's say I give you this orange. Okay, now you have the orange. I have an apple. What can you do to get me to give you this apple? Well, a lot of people would say, well, hey, I'll just give you the orange back and then we can trade. If I give you the orange back, you'll probably give me the apple. Well, I want to say, wrong. I didn't want that orange. I gave you that orange. All you have to do is ask me for the apple and I'm going to give you the apple. You can have the apple and the orange. But that's the thing. People don't think that way. They think that there's a limited amount of things that they can get from this life, and that's where jealousy comes in. Hey, if they have it, I can't have it. That's where greed comes in. I have to take everything for myself because there isn't enough. But that's the thing, there is enough. There is enough in this universe for everyone. There's enough food for everyone. There's enough love for everyone. There's enough resources on this earth for every single person. But if you don't know that and you operate based on the assumption that you can never have everything, or if you carry an open anger account with you that says to you that there's something inside of you that no one else can ever satisfy, nobody ever can make that right, and it's going to say that because you're going to go through life and it will never be made right, you'll always be lacking. It will spread to other areas of your life. But the only way that you're really going to get past these things, the only way that you're going to be able to live in abundance, the only way that you're going to be able to get over what happened to you is to actually forgive the person. Forgiveness is canceling a debt. You're saying that although someone owes you, you're closing their account. Not because of anything they did, not because they said they were sorry, not because they somehow magically made it up to you, not because they gave you a time machine and took you back in time. It's just a decision. The account is closed. You're absolutely right. It is not fair. Whatever happened to you, it's not fair. But forgiveness isn't fair. If you wait for things to be made right before you forgive, then you're not really forgiving. That's not really what forgiveness is. What you're doing in that scenario is you're just not angry anymore. You're naturally not angry anymore because you have nothing to be angry about anymore because it's been made right. And if you wait for that to happen, you're going to be waiting a really, really long time. So you have a choice. You can live in anger forever and damage your own heart, your life, and other people in the process, or you can forgive. Either way, you can never get back what was taken from you, and that really sucks. But what sucks more is hurting yourself over it forever by carrying that anger around with you. So my message today is to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. Because you deserve to not carry that crud around with you, because you deserve everything that life has to offer. You deserve happiness and you deserve health.